Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Life as I See It. I'm your hostess, Dina Nierenberg, and with me today I have my favorite hostess of all time, my daughter Esther Nierenberg. Finally got her on the show. Welcome, honey.
Thank you for having me on the show. Finally, I got the courage to actually be on the show.
All right. That's it. That's how it goes. You just gotta sometimes push yourself to be on the show. And we were talking about that before we started the show. That it's not that you feel mentally ready to be on the show, but you can push yourself anyway. You can push yourself beyond what your mind is telling you. And isn't that what we're always tapping on EFT?
Yeah, because when you want to accomplish a goal or do something, you shouldn't wait till you're ready to because you'll be 90 years old and still feeling unmotivated. But you have to just push yourself whether you're feeling motivated or not, and then that's when you'll become motivated.
Yep, that's exactly how it says, out of the mouth of teenagers. This is an amazing feeling that you are not tied down to your mind. Your mind is only a prison if you make it a prison, but that your mind could be telling you, don't go in front of the cameras. You can't do it. You're shy. You don't know what to say. And just getting out there and doing it anyway can totally, completely change your life. It completely unlocks you from the prison that you put yourself into. That's why I like just pushing myself, and I'm so happy that you did today, Esther.
I'm so happy about it too. I don't think I'll regret it.
Thank you. And I'm so glad that you're finally getting to meet this amazing young woman. Now, I know I've referenced her a little here, a little there, but now you're actually getting to meet the young lady known as Esther Nierenberg. So it's so great to have you on the show. And we're here today in the most incredible restaurant in the world, Bay Cafe. It's located in the heart of Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn, New York. And it's so great to be here today. Everybody here is amazing. Everyone here, everybody who works here is just so great. And Larissa is amazing. She allowed us to tape here, basically whenever we want. And we look forward to a delicious meal right after this. So I just want to thank all the staff for being here today and for being so amazing. And it's just so cool all the time. You're like family already. Thank you. And so it's just such a great place to eat, and it's not just a great place to eat, it's a great place to hang out. Like remember that cafe? It's called Central Perk from Friends, Jen Aniston and all that. Well, it's kind of like that, but it's just a lot more elegance. It's more than coffee and Danish. It's full meals, and it's just a great place to just chill, hang out with your kids, hang out with your friends, hang out with kids who are like friends, and just have a great time in general. And so, yeah, well, we were talking about before the show what to discuss on the show today. And one very hot topic that we can't seem to get enough of, and it doesn't matter who I'm talking to, what age, and even how much time they spend on it. Social media, I think, is a complete and total destruction of society as we know it. What do you think, Esther?
So I think it doesn't matter what age, anyone who uses social media can probably relate to this topic. You, whether or not people realize it, it's destroying a lot of their relationships. It's destroying relationships with their friends. It's destroying relationships with themselves. They're not getting involved in real life. They're just very like addicted, and sometimes they don't realize it, sometimes they do, and they have a hard time getting away from social media.
Yeah. It's pretty scary stuff. There was this rocker about, what was this? This was about 23, 24 years ago, and I don't really know his name, and he was probably off his rocker, this rocker. He was this British fellow pop singer. And that's when the general cell phone first came out. And he said, right now, the cell phone looks like a handy thing to have. You need to call somebody, you need to call home, you need to call a friend, you need to call a doctor, you need to wait on a diagnosis. This phone is great. But I predict that in 20 years from now, You will not be able to get off of this phone. You are going to spend so much time scrolling through something called social media. You're going to spend so much time posting up pictures of of your family, of your pets, of your children, pictures and videos that other people are going to get hooked on watching, and they're going to get hooked on sending you stuff as well. And not only that, and not just for people who know each other, but for random, complete, and total strangers, we're literally only going to have a life that exists on this handheld device. You're going to cease to have a life as you know it now. Right now you have lives. You go to work, you meet people for dinner, you talk to your families, you do what you got to do. But there's going to come a time in life, and I guarantee it, 25 years down the road, where most of your life is going to be spent scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, posting videos and other people's videos, and you're never going to be able to stop it. It's going to become an addiction so bad, it's totally going to take down society. And it really has,
That's crazy how that guy predicted that because it's so true. And back then they didn't have a thing called social media.
Nope, nope, no such thing. There was no even internet at the time. There was no internet at the time. You wanted to have a computer, you had a computer at work, or your home computer was completely for fun and entertainment to play Pac-Man on, which I know dates me a lot. But that's what your home computer was all about. It was all about playing games, Tetris, and so on and so forth. It wasn't about what you could post and what you could watch. There was no YouTube back then, so you couldn't post any videos. If you wanted to be a video maker, you actually had to, have somebody tape you and, give out videotapes of it. That's all that there was back then. Videotapes were like these great big box-like looking things. It's like, well, those have gone the way of the dinosaurs, that's for sure. That's for darn sure. I don't know anybody who has a VCR anymore.
People still have computers, but it's not the same. They don't use it they use it for business purposes, but they use it for more than that. They use it for to not to play games. They use it for social media also. They use it to order things. People can't have real connections anymore because they're so busy with social media and having connections with people through their device.
That's right. That's right. It's turned out to the point where you can literally do all of your shopping online from your house. You don't even have to go out to get food because you can order through Uber Eats or Grubhub or whichever app you want. You can literally have this life that exists within your four walls with you being on your phone and doing nothing else all day. And then there are people, and their job is actually that they're social influencers. And, hopefully it's for the good and not for the bad, though we know that there are two different types of social influencers. One of the best types we know, I think the best social influencer that we know is Tana Tucker. She's really, really incredible. But on the other hand are some unmentionable people who they use their social platform for the worst things in the world, to hate, to spew terrible nationalism and how we're better than those people and those people are better than those people. And it's just sad that this is what's become of social media. It used to be something that could be like a fun hobby. It's
And a way to connect with others.
Right.
That's exactly what it was made for, but no one uses it for that anymore.
That's right. Nobody uses it as a way to connect. That's why Facebook was created in the first place. Facebook was actually, I think, created even before Instagram. And I remember 15 years ago, people asking me, do you have Facebook? I'm like, what is Facebook? Is it like a book of your face? Is it a book of a lot of different, pictures of you? It's like, what is Facebook? It took me forever and a day to realize what Facebook was. And, I've always been kind of technologically behind the times. And now I'm glad that I was.
Because the thing is, with Facebook, also the same with me. When I first heard about Facebook, I was like, huh, what is that? It sounded like a book where, different, makeup,
Facebook.
where you would see makeup on different people and different styles of makeup, but then I realized it's very different from that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, like Kevin Aucoin's Making Faces. He came out with this nice big picture book in the early 1990s. A very well-known people at the time with their hair and makeup done. And this was called Making Faces. So I'm like, Facebook Making Faces. It's got to be the exact same thing. It was only about 5, 6 years ago when I became technologically, into the 21st century that I realized it's not what I thought it was. And it's not actually something amazing either. It's like, it's nice, I think, to be able to have such an amazing, so such a sophisticated kind of a camera now on our phones that you can actually take these great pictures and then send it to your friends. Because I think that's great. I think that's wonderful. And, especially people who don't live near you, family members and friends who, let's say, live even across the world. And how nice is it? I have kids who live in Israel, and my daughter-in-law, she can take a picture of herself and then send it over to us living here in America. And I think that's great.
It's amazing because if you haven't seen someone in a while and you want to see, I know a picture's not the same, but they could send it to you anyway, and it'll be kind of like you're seeing them, but not. Yeah.
The deal now with social media is it's not just about you posting up this incredible video. It's all about how many people can see your incredible video.
How many followers you have.
How many followers you can have. Do you know that over the course of the past 6 years, I've opened and shut 6 accounts when I realized that I was getting overly hooked on it and wondering how many viewers I had and why people like this and they didn't like that and what could I do better for the next time. I realized this whole social media thing is not my game, not my thing at all. Yeah, it becomes horrible. It can take over your entire life. You get to this point where your entire sense of self-esteem is based around how many people like you. And you take this shot that you think is incredible or this video that you think is incredible, and you and everybody who are taking the video agree that you look amazing, and so do they, and everybody's saying all the right things and doing all the right things. And look at that. Next day, next morning, how many views do you have? You have 13 views and 2 people like it. You're like, "Oy!" Like, what's my life? It's like, why is it that everybody hates me so much? Why is it that I cannot seem to attract as much of an audience as other people can? And it can make you feel so low and so poorly about yourself. And what happens when you get hate? What happens when somebody specifically doesn't like your Instagram and they tell you so?
Well, either you could. Here's what happens. There's one of 2 reactions. Either people go crazy and they're like, they get crazy, depressed because no one likes their photos or whatever. Or they defend themselves to the haters, but that usually doesn't help because that just gives them more drama to add to.
Yeah. The hater's gonna hate, right? And the player's gonna play and all that, but yeah, the haters are gonna hate. If you try to argue with the hater, they're just going to find something else to say right back at you. And even if they can't come up with anything, with any good comeback, they'll just come up with some fancy curse words, or they'll try to turn everybody else against you. Or the next time that you post something, they'll manage to hate on that as well. Because everybody's out there believing their own thing, doing their own thing. Everybody out there has their own unique family experiences and their own unique school experiences, plus peer pressure experiences. It's very, very hard to change the mind of another human being. You can literally only start to change the world when you're willing to make changes in yourself. You're willing to make these changes in yourself, and you're willing to role model behavior that you would like to see other people performing as well. Right? It's like, be the change that you wish to see.
Yeah, you can't tell people, oh, be kind, be more caring, be more loving, do this, do that. You can't do that. You have to show them by example, and hopefully, eventually, they'll learn from your examples.
That's right, hopefully. But even if they don't, you will still have role modeled amazing behavior for the world.
yeah, you're still doing your part even if no one
Yeah.
follows your example.
You know, at the end of the day, we're all actors. We're all actresses in this world. All of us have a role to play, a part to play. It doesn't matter if the other person that you're playing opposite, that they're a really, really terrible actor. As long as you are a good actor, as long as you're a great actress, as long as you are doing what you have to do and putting in your all into your performance, it doesn't matter what everybody else says or doesn't say. You know, take for an example, I don't know, let's say two cousins, right? Now we all know that cousins are supposed to be loving toward each other, kind to each other, and just always backing each other up. What if you have one cousin and she is so nice to the other cousin, and the other cousin's like, ugh, yeah, why is this cousin bothering me? Why can't she leave me alone? I don't want to deal with her. I don't want to know about her. She thinks that she's all that. So it's not the fault of the cousin who's trying to be all nice. It's basically that the other person is just like, they're just like, don't know how to play along. They don't know how to play their part. But as long as you know how to play your part, it doesn't matter who else can and can't. Same thing goes true for people that you meet outside. Your random folk outside that you meet. You know what to do. You know to be nice. You know to be polite and kind and generous. And so you're playing your part as being like a generous, sweet civilian. And let's say no matter what you do, no matter what you say, they just go, oh, don't look at me, go away. That's not your business. That's not your problem. What is the thing, don't let anybody ever deter you. Either they will respond in kind and they'll learn from you, or they won't respond in kind and they'll just keep doing their own things. But that's not our problem. We are unlimited souls. We are absolutely unlimited human beings. We can go as high as we like. We can be as strong as we want to be, as loving as we want to be. Whether or not the people around us can do this for us, we don't have to care about that part. We just have to do our ends. And that, in and of itself, is the reward. Can we travel through this world on a soul level without caring what other people's responses to us actually are?
Yeah, we can. I believe we can do it because even if these people that you're trying to be friendly towards don't give you the reaction that you're expecting for, still treat them with a lot of love.
Mm-hmm.
Not always because they deserve it, but because it'll make your life easier and it'll make you happier.
That's right. At the end of the day, it's all about fulfilling our own life mission. It's not about fulfilling somebody else's life mission, and you should never, ever, ever want to be somebody else. Nobody can be yourself like you can. You're the only one who's fit for the job, honestly. It's a very, very sad day when people feel like they have to be somebody else. Like they say, oh, look at her and her life. I've got to be just like her. That's sad. That's not why you're here. That's not why we're here. We are all here to fulfill our own unique mission in life. We've been given all of our own unique gifts, talents, and abilities to be able to fulfill our role in life. And to even want to be anybody else, you would not want to live their life for even 5 minutes. It said that if everybody threw their life package into the middle of a circle and then you could just go and grab anybody's life package, you'd be throwing it back into that circle within 5 minutes because you never, ever, ever want to live anybody's life. And even with the hardships that we have to deal with, at least we could deal with our own hardships. We cannot deal with anybody else's hardships. And that's what people don't always realize. And they get on social media and they say, oh, wow, look at this one. She's so gorgeous and she's so skinny and she's so successful and she's got the boyfriend and she's got the kids and she's got the vacation homes and she's got the most fulfilling kind of work in the world. Wow. Not only am I jealous of her, but I'm jealous of her to the point where I want to be her. I want her life. If you could tell me today that, you know what, you could stop being you and you can start being her, get into her body, you really don't want that. You would never, ever, ever want that to happen. It's true that some influencers, that some people on social media, they make it so, they make their lives sound so amazing to the point where you're all, wow, what a life. I want to be either them or like their bestie because I want to have all the experiences that they get to have. But you truly don't even want that in your life. Not really. Social media makes it so, they make it so to the point where you start to crave it. Crave it. You not only do you crave attention for the things that you've posted, but you crave everybody else's life. And it's extremely, extremely sad, you know?
That's very sad actually, because that's the thing with social media. You're seeing everybody else's life, you're seeing who they hang out with, what cool places they go to, and what cool vacations they take, and the food that they're eating. And it's just like you start to get a little jealous, but you also have to remind yourself that social media is very fake, and you can't, social media is very fake, and people, you don't always see what's actually going on behind the screen, the challenges that those people have to deal with. If you
Good
knew
point.
about those challenges, you wouldn't wish to be them.
That's right. That's right. Everybody has their challenges, but most people don't post up about them.
Yeah, because they want everyone to think what a cool life they have.
That's right. On occasion, you're going to have somebody real, and they'll post up about their challenges that they're going through. I think that these are the most real social media. But for people who are just like, let everybody see me as having a skinny day and a gorgeous hair day and a great makeup day and this day in which, you know, everything is going perfectly for me and I've got the best job and I'm saying and doing all the right things, that kind of crowd, they wind up being very, very, very depressed about their lives because sometimes even they'll watch their own social media and they know they could try to fool themselves into thinking that they have a great life. But once everybody's shut down social media for the night and they're scrolling through their own feed, they start to see, nah, I'm an actress. At the end of the day, I'm just an actress. You know, now a lot of us call ourselves performers. I'm a performer and so is Esther. But the idea is, do we perform for fun or do we perform because our own lives are just so horrible that we cannot even think about being ourselves?
We perform for fun.
Oh, do we have a great time? We have such a great time performing. Performing is our fun in life. We do something really incredible. It's called Fishbowl Improv. We do this a lot at my talent shows that I love to put on. And what do? As we have, first of all, we have a nice big plastic salad bowl. And we pick out two characters. We pick out a setting, such as a school or a hospital or an airplane or a synagogue or whatever it is that we're choosing. And then we pick out a scene that we have to act out, such as we just saw a very wild loose bear running through the building. That could be the scene that we just saw. And, you know, let's say Esther's the mom, and let's say I'm the kid, and we're in the school, and we literally just saw a bear running like a crazy man, running through the hallway, and he's going, ah! And we're like, what do we make of that? Well, we can make an entire play out of that.
Just based on 3 terms.
Based on 3 terms, we can make an entire play out of that. We love to perform. It's what we do in our lives. It's our great time. You know, some people love to play ball. Some people love to go swimming. Well, I do love to swim, but some people love to play tennis. Some people love to shop ad nauseum. We love to do fishbowl improv, and we do this either in front of the camera and sometimes just even when we're in the house. We like pick up 3 random ideas, characters, a setting, and a scene, and we'll just fly from there. But nobody seems to understand that there's nothing worse than what's going on right now with social media. And every single time I've opened up an account, I've always said, I wish such a thing had never ever been created, because now I feel like I'm under pressure to perform and against my will, you know?
Yeah, like there's a big difference between the acting improv that we do and social media. The acting improv that we do, we're performing for fun and it's a hobby of ours. But social media, you're performing for the media just to make them think you have a cool life,
Right.
and it's not a hobby.
Yeah. And it's a fake life. It's an extremely fake life. And at the end of the day, you know it's a fake life. And it's very, very disappointing when you realize that your real life does not measure up to your social media life. And you're like, wow, you feel like two different people. They're like, there's me in real life with my big frizzy hair and my not always knowing what to say and my not always knowing what to do and the makeup that's not done most of the time and the stuttering that I do more oftentimes than not, and the work that's, I make it look like it's incredible, but really it's like not much more than I make it out to be. And then you look at your gorgeous polished self in social media and you're like, I don't even feel like this person who posts. Look at this person who posts. She's like the perfect person. She's like she's like a goddess. And I even like when I look at my own stuff, I feel very, very inept. I feel inferior even when I look at my own stuff. And that's how you know that you got to go off social media. And that's what's actually gotten me off social media so many times in my life. I'm like, I'm sick and tired of like posting up this perfect life, and people are jealous of it, first of all, and even I feel like I can't measure up to it. But on top of all that, everyone under the sun wants to at least look at it, and like, where's the privacy? I know that you can like technically make your account private, but I never have done that, and it's always made me feel like, I feel like I've got no privacy at all. It's like, what are your finishing thoughts on that for now?
And even if you don't get rid of social media, at least limit your time on it, or control who you follow. Like only follow like people that don't post fake things. Follow people that uplift you and inspire you.
That's right. Follow people of substance. And there's there's that word follow. I actually don't love the word follow. It makes it sound like, okay, they're rulers, we're like the subjects. I've always like, why can't they get a better word than followers? And when I first got onto social media 6 years ago, and I was told, okay, you can choose to follow people, or people can choose, they can elect to follow you. I'm like, what are we like? Royalty and the subject,
Or like follow the leader.
or follow the leader. It's like, why should you be a follower and me be a subject, or why should I be a leader and you're my loyal follower? It's like I don't go for that terminology at all. I think it's created this great big rift between people, and you're a leader if you have millions and millions of followers, and you're more of a subject if you don't have a whole lot of followers and you're forced to follow the leader. If you're forced to follow the ruler, then what are you? Well, you have to, because you only have 50 people following you, whereas they have 10 million people following them. And it's never really sat right with me, Esther. That's the thing I hate the most about social media.
Someone that I follow, they once were being interviewed, and the interviewer was like, how does having millions of followers not affect your life? And she was like, oh, what do I care? It's just a number. I mean, they're very special, amazing people, but at the end of the day, I'm not getting obsessed with my followers. It's just a number.
Yeah, I hear that. A person's got to know whether or not they can keep it to an attitude like that. Some people will say, oh, I have to have millions, millions, millions of followers to feel great about myself. And some people say, you know what, I just want to post some great inspirational things without worrying and wondering how many followers I'm going to get. I think that's a really, really great attitude. I think it's a very moderate kind of an attitude. It's a very healthy attitude. Yeah, so that's the deal today on what we have to say about social media. So ladies and gentlemen, I am Dina Nierenberg, your hostess with Life as I See It, with my favorite co-hostess of all time, Esther Nierenberg.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. And also, I'm so glad I pushed myself. And if I can even affect one person who's watching this, I'm truly honored.
Thank you so much, Esther. You're truly the best.
You too.
Thank you.